Yes, Ornn and Set are finally being nerfed. But wait, they're buffing Darius and Mordekaiser? Hello Summoners and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Dan and today I'm going to be giving you guys the patch preview changes list for 10.5. We just received some confirmed news from Riot Games that these are the list of champions and items that are being nerfed next patch. The specific changes aren't out yet, but we'll cover those in our upcoming changes video, which will be released in 1 or 2 days when all the details have been revealed. So hit that sub button to be notified of that and stay alert because this will be a meta-breaking patch. Also, real quick before we get started, make sure to check out ProGuides.com to see huge improvements to your rank. Over there, we have challenger coaches who can seriously help you out and make sure you get your dream rank by the end of the season. Now, let's jump right in the video. Alright, to start things off, let's start with the list of nerfs. The list of champions who will be receiving nerfs are Ornn, Set, Rammus, Amumu, Blitzcrank, and Bard. Honestly, I'm so glad Ornn, Set, and Blitzcrank are being nerfed. These 3 champions have been topping the tier lists for way too long, and the player base has been begging for nerfs for multiple patches. However, when it comes to Rammus and Amumu, I'm kinda confused as to why they're being toned down. These 2 picks aren't dominant by any means and are constantly being placed near the B tier in our tier lists. And lastly for Bard, well, he is kind of a hidden OP support right now. His strong early damage can bully out a lot of the meta supports like Nautilus and Leona. The balance team have finally caught on to his oppressiveness in the bot lane, and the nerfs are somewhat justified. I just hope they don't gut him completely. Now let's move on to the buffs. The list of champions who are confirmed to receive buffs are Kayn, Graves, Lissandra, Neeko, Twisted Fate, Sivir, Caixa, Alistar, Sona, Darius, Mordekaiser, Poppy, and Brand. So when it comes to Darius, Mordekaiser, Poppy, and Brand, these champions are confirmed to be buffed for their role as a jungler. I'm not gonna lie, Brand jungle is one of my favorite pocket picks, and I'm going to abuse the heck out of him once these changes hit the live server. However, I'm still not a fan of Riot forcing these unconventional junglers into the meta for numerous reasons. Our analysts go into detail about these issues in our video called The Biggest Issue with Riot's Balance Changes for Jungle, so make sure to check that out later. As for the other jungle buffs to Graves and Kayn, I can see why they're getting some love. Both of these champs are not weak by any means, but aren't necessarily strong either. I'm sure they won't receive anything massive, but a small tune-up will really help. When it comes to the mid lane buffs for Lissandra, Twisted Fate, and Neeko, I can confidently say that I'm also a fan. These champs have very low play rates right now, but one thing to note is that Twisted Fate is OP in Challenger, so these buffs might make him a bit too strong. But hey, we all want to see Dopa hit rank 1 again. And lastly, let's talk about Sivir, Caixa, Sona, and Alistar. Although Caixa was extremely dominant recently, she's kind of fallen out of the meta. This is mainly due to the new ADC champs like Senna and Aphelios being way more overpowered than Caixa. I think Riot is planning on bringing her back in the meta, so expect some big buffs. Sona, on the other hand, is receiving a revert from the 10.4 hotfix changes, so it's just a small change. And as for Alistar, I hope they tackle his mana costs or cooldowns because he just cannot keep up with the other engaged supports right now. Alright, let's move on to the item changes. First up, Spell Thief's Edge and Spectral Sickle will only be able to proc with an ally nearby. This will prevent players from building this item on weird champs like Sona top or Nunu mid. Next up, Blade of the Ruined King will have its on-hit damage increased to 12% of the target's current health for melee users only. Titanic Hydra will just be receiving buffs, which now makes your basic attacks do 5 plus 1.5% of your max health, and the splash will be increased by 0.5%. Mobility Boots will be receiving a nerf to prevent supports from roaming too much, but Boots of Swiftness will receive a buff. That's all for the item changes. We have one final change, which is to turret plates. Melee champions will now deal way more damage to towers, which is going to be super noticeable in the top lane. Like we mentioned earlier, guys, this is all the information that is available as of right now. However, these are the confirmed lists of champions, items, and runes that will receive changes in patch 10.5. We'll make sure to release our upcoming changes video tomorrow or the day after to cover every buff and nerf in detail, so smash that sub button to stay notified. That's all for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the Rift.